Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, double honors unto the elders and apostles of great most and that rule well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'm the brother Kalab, and I'm from the GMS UK and on the Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson to edify those of which I spoke of. So I was just browsing through BBC News and I found this article. I heard about it a day or so ago, but I just was reading this. It says, why haven't we seen images of SpaceX moon crash yet? So this is a question being asked to the readers by BBC News. I'll give you the short answer, and it's the truthful answer. And the truthful answer is that this never happened. You know, they never crashed their satellite into the moon. You know why? Because the moon is a light source. The moon isn't a dusty rock that you can just land on and it's filled with grey sand like they portray in the movies and as you can see in this image here. No, the moon is actually a light source and the scriptures tell us that. So this is equivocal to crashing into the sun. You ain't crashing into the moon, ain't going to be able to recover nothing. Let me get this precept. It's Genesis 1. There you go, exactly right on the point. This is Genesis 1 and 13. And it says, the powers, or the Elohim, said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the Elohim, or the powers, made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. They made the stars also. And the powers, or the Elohim, set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the Elohim, or the powers, saw it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So on the 4,000th year of creation, because remember, a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. In the 4,000 year of creation, the sun and the moon were created. The sun being to give the light to the day, and the moon to give light at night. That's why the moon is a light source. They're both sources of light, except the sun is the greater one and the moon is the lesser, and they are for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So, you know, months are based upon, you know, cycles, lunar cycles. You know, we measure the time according to, and you know, even the Sabbath cycle is based upon when the new moon comes in. You know, the new moon when the moon gives off no light. That's the new moon, not the full moon when it's at its full brightness, but the new moon is when, you know, the Sabbath cycle renews. So going back to this article, let's see what kind of bullshit Esau's going to try and pull out his ass to justify this nonsense. So it says, why haven't you seen images of SpaceX's moon crash yet? A new crater may have been made on the moon after a SpaceX rocket was believed to have crashed into the surface. The empty upper stage of Falcon 9 rocket was due to strike the moon at about 5,400 miles per hour, which is 8,700 kilometers per hour, on Wednesday, 5th of August. However, it could be days or even weeks. This is who spell checked this article, man. Look at this in this third paragraph. However, it could be days or even weeks we see any pictures. Some missing words there. BBC, you need to get your spell checker sorted out, man. However, it could be days or weeks It could be days or even weeks we see any pictures. The BBC science correspondent Pat Labgouche explains why. Let's look into this. What can scientists learn from a stray SpaceX rocket hitting the moon? This is published on the 5th of August. A stray SpaceX rocket is believed to have crashed into the moon, forming a crater near the famous lunar landmark, giving scientists a unique research opportunity that could help future missions. The empty upper stage of a Falcon 9 rocket was due to strike the moon near the Einstein crater at a speed of about 5,400 miles per hour, which is 8,700 kilometers per hour on Wednesday. The short dramatic flash it created could have been hard to catch by amateur astronomers, even with high-end telescopes. Yeah, of course, because it never fucking happened. But larger observatories in the Americas are analyzing the information. It could be days or even weeks before the full picture of what happened and what we can learn from it is known. But for planetary geologists, this accidental collision is a scientific gift. Yeah, let's see what this lion-ass Edomite has to say.
Astronomers are waiting to collect data in the coming days. The orbiters that are around the moon are looking to photograph the site to see if we can see that crater. But it will take time for the data to come in. But I know a lot of astronomers have been glued to the feeds to see if they could spot anything. Scientists love getting data wherever they can. And there are lots who want to understand the moon. And as the Artemis missions take us back there, understanding the composition, understanding the surface, the history becomes ever more important so that we can plan where those landers will happen, where the scientifically interesting places are that astronauts might visit. And so that's why they're gathering all this data. But I think that it's also an interesting point to talk about the fact that we have human-made objects crashing into the moon. Space debris is a real challenge. And when we all use space every single day, the orbits that are around Earth that are full of space debris now or are getting fuller, it's a real challenge, and this industry is looking to address that.
Yeah, talking a load of shit. Talking a load of shit. Yeah, this never happened, man. So they're just gonna go into all this bullshit about, oh yeah, it made another crater. You know, we're one step closer to returning to the moon and studying its surface. Nah, Esau, you ain't going there. You ain't going there, man. The Most High hasn't allowed you to travel beyond the Earth's orbit because of something called the Van Allen belt. Let's look that up. Esau can't bypass it. The Van Allen belts are two donut-shaped zones of energetic charged particles surrounding the Earth, featuring an inner belt of high-energy protons from 300 to 1,000 kilometers up and an outer belt of relativistic electrons from 10,000 to 40,000 kilometers up. They are trapped by Earth's magnetic field and pose cumulative health and tech risks that require quick transit times and shielding. So yeah, Esau can't pass that. Let's go here. Risks in space travel. Human exposure. Unshielded exposure inside the belts can deliver fatal doses over time, e.g. thousands of rads per hour. Now, for any of you who are into comic books, you may remember a set of characters called the Fantastic Four. And in the original comic, this is how the Fantastic Four got their powers, by, trying to go into Earth's orbit and getting hit by massive doses of radiation, so that when they crash landed back on Earth, they had superpowers. Like the Human Torch could turn his body into fire. The Thing became a giant golem-like creature made out of stone. Sue Storm became the Invisible Woman. She could create energy fields and go invisible. And Reed Richards, the leader, became Mr. Fantastic, who could stretch his body and could talk into all kinds of shapes. So that's just a comic book aside. But the point is that this area of radiation has been known about, and Esau's never been able to bypass it. So all this talk about, we're going to send Artemis 2 rockets or whatever number rocket it is back to land on the moon. It ain't happening. Ain't happening, man. You got greater chance of beating Yahweh Shai in a battle than you have with going to the moon. And anybody who knows the odds of that, you know, it's impossible. Ain't nobody gonna beat Yahweh Shai in battle when he comes back. This is Isaiah to prove the point. Isaiah 63, I think it is. Could be. Yeah, this is Isaiah 63. This is what I want. Nobody's beating Yahweh Shai when he comes back. Isaiah 63 and verse 1, it says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bosra? This that is glorious in his apparel, travelling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat?" The reason why it's red is because this is metaphoric, this is not literal. Yahweh Shai is not going to have literal blood sprinkled upon his vesture, but this is metaphoric for the amount of killing Yahweh Shai is going to do at the point of his return to this earth. It says, "I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth." There you go. So Yahweh Shai is coming back to essentially kick ass and put these heathen nations in their right place, and set up the kingdom of Israel, which is going to be a kingdom of heaven on earth, ruled by us Israelites. So yeah, that's the point on that, man. Esau's just a liar, you know, and he's doing what Esau's going to do. Esau's going to lie until he can't lie no more, so we shouldn't be surprised about this. But yeah, man, Esau never went to the moon, and he ain't going back there anytime soon. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachachodash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles of great millstone that rule well, and shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I will catch you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.